friends, welcome to Dads and Daddies, a podcast about the lives and times of adult gay men in the here and now. I'm Brian Ruben Sowers, the dad.
And I am Judson Morrow, the daddy.
Hi, Judson.
Buddy, what's going on?
I am going to say this. This is not the first time you have heard this, but it will be the first time our listeners have heard this. Because Judson and I have some summer travel coming up. And some of it overlaps, some of it doesn't. But because of that, we have been recording some episodes back to back to make sure that you all are never without a new episode on any given Tuesday. But for a variety of reasons that is much too boring to explain, they're not necessarily coming out in the order that we recorded them. So this might be more information than any of you want or need. But you may be hearing us tell stories out of order, referencing things that we've said that you haven't heard yet. So you'll just have to bear with us for the next few weeks. We appreciate your patience with that. And one of the reasons I'm bringing that up is because today we are bringing you an interview with Derek Frazier, who is a blast.
Truly.
We just sat down with
so
him a couple days ago, but we didn't get to record this particular intro segment. And so a couple things. In that segment, you'll hear us say that we were putting it up on July the 8th. In fact, it is coming out on July the 15th. So just wanted to give you that little bit of explanation, even though I haven't really explained much at all. And what else was I going to say about that? There was one more point. I mean,
I think the takeaway is that listeners, we love you and we love each other. Like, we just wanted to make sure that there was content for you to consume. And we know you don't care about the dates.
I don't know. I just, as my anal retentive OCD in me, I just needed to make sure people understand that I understand that some of this may sound out of order. And also, I have made this speech on another episode that is now going to be airing, I don't know, the 22nd or 29th. So you'll hear this again. To that end, it was quite a lengthy episode. Also, Derek had a lot to say. So we don't want to take too much of your time in our intro segment today. But you came in, you said you have some summer recommendations for folks?
Oh, yeah. So I have been in bed with a parasite for the last 4 days. So nothing has happened in my life except the consumption of culture. So
Okay.
I just wanted to share some hot picks for all of you.
Yeah.
Number one, movie. I'm late to the game, but I really enjoyed Keke Palmer and SZA in One of Them Days.
Okay.
If you have a best friend or hate your job or have ever hustled to pay your rent or have ever put your faith in a dog of a man, this movie is for you. It's so good. Books. I just finished Jennifer Haidt is an American novelist who I absolutely adore. She writes these sort of bucolic, blue-collar, modern family dramas, and they are so well written and so compelling and so good. She just came out with a book in May called Rabbit Moon, and it is about the elder daughter of a family in Boston who basically moves to China to escape her family. She doesn't cut off contact with them, but like some shit goes down in the hometown and she's like, dude, I gotta go. Shit gets crazy in China. The family gets involved. It is such a good book. I'm going to even say beach read. Like, it's a little heavy, but it reads easily.
Okay.
So we got movie, we got book. Last of all, I will say this. Rilo Kiley is touring this summer. Being into them as a band was half my personality in college. The other half was obviously being a homosexual. I just highly recommend, if you have never been a fan, you can honestly hit up Spotify or wherever you get your music and pick any of the albums. They have not, the last time I saw them in concert was 2005. So they're playing, their show in New York City is sold out at Pier 17, but there's still tickets for the Asbury Park summer stage show. Rilo Kiley, hit him up.
Also, I don't believe in the words sold out.
Oh, well,
There's always
you would not. I mean, you can look, but it's like, I'm not going to pay $237 to like stand.
If you look at a venue's like their own site,
Yeah.
like day of, day before, there's often ways in. As somebody who used to work in theater, I know that there's always tickets.
Yeah.
One thing I did want to bring up, because we talked about it a couple episodes ago, and I don't believe, again, my memory's a little mixed up because we've been recording these out of order. I don't believe I gave a kind of follow-up, but I told a story a couple weeks ago about what happened at my kid's school.
Oh, yeah.
When I tried to introduce this, I did introduce this flyer explaining the Progress Pride flag. The flyer did indeed end up being distributed to all the families. I never heard a single thing about it after the fact. I didn't hear about any complaints. I'm sure there were some, but if there were, they didn't make it back to me. But I had been having a really hard time getting past it, which is not like me, actually. But I really didn't have any interest for a little while in interacting again with the principal, who had this momentary lapse in judgment until my co-president brought her back to the light side. And I, was really frustrated with a couple parents that I had heard. I don't know 100%, but that I had heard had gone to the principal with some complaints because they are people who have direct relationships with me. One of whom even supposedly looks after some of what we call racial equity and social justice at the school, and on behalf of the parents. And so I was taking the last couple weeks of school and, to be honest, kind of avoiding any interaction with the principal. And then my older daughter, kind of took note. They hear and observe everything.
They really do. They take it all.
And so she volunteered to me one night just before the last day of school that, she didn't need to be the principal's friend anymore. Like, she could stop being friendly with the principal. And I said, no. The principal and I are friends. And, we explained, sometimes even good friends, have some conflict and need, some quiet time away from each other. But that doesn't mean that the friendship is gone or that there's true animosity or anything like that. And then the last Parents Association meeting of the year, which was my last as co-president after 2 years of being co-president, these meetings tend to be pretty dry. And in my 2 years as co-president, conflict has never arisen. But on this last night, this one parent, who is one of these people who I was informed had expressed some opinions about the flyer, started to express in a really kind of inappropriate, immature, non-professional way in front of an audience that wasn't the right audience, some confusion, frustration, and I tried my very, very best to remain calm and move the meeting along. And then she made this comment about, racial equity and social justice is meant to be for everybody. And I kind of lost it again and said, oh, really? Because in that case, why did you pursue? And I was then, by my co-president, again, very smart, said, you know what, Brian, why don't you step off the call? And so I did. And I immediately started getting text messages and emails from all kinds of people, both on the exec board and not, in support of me and telling me that I had handled it as best I possibly could. But what had happened was my daughter had overheard this exchange. I was on a video call in my office upstairs, and she had heard it. She had heard some, heated exchange, and thought, again, it was with the principal. And I was like, no. The principal wasn't even on the call at that point. It wasn't the principal. I promise the principal and I are still friends. So the next morning, the last day at school, I made a point of going up to the principal and giving her a big hug in front of my daughters. And the principal said, oh my gosh, what did I do to deserve this? You're making me nervous. And I said, no. Just my eldest thought that maybe you and I weren't friends anymore. And she said, oh, no, of course. She said, of course we're friends. I care very deeply about your father. And I said, yes, we care very deeply about each other. And I said, see, so we're friends. And so all of that to say that even this heated moment, everything happens for a reason. And I got to end the school year by giving the principal a big hug and felt very good about how I closed that loop. And even today, I saw an email from somebody else who had been on that call supporting me in that moment. So anyway, just closing the loop for all of those of you who are invested in the story I told a couple weeks ago about that the flyer did indeed go out. I didn't hear any repercussions, and the principal and I are back in a good place.
Your daughter's EQ is crazy high. And what incredible modeling. Bravo, Dad.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so glad it worked out that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry for everything that kind of happened to get us here.
Right.
But like, way to be the adult.
Thank you. I'm not proud of myself in certain moments in the whole story, the one I told 2 weeks ago and the one I just told now. But thank you. For the most part, I did the best I could, and I think it all turned out great.
And now it's summer, and your daughters are literally spraying hairspray onto their dolls all over the house.
Yes,
so
they are.
That's
Yep.
That seems like super fun for you.
Yeah. All right. So I do want to make our intro quick today, but we love our new segment, Hookup of the Week. So here we go.
Hookup of the Week.
Hey, Dad and Daddy. Longtime listener, first-time son here. I have a hookup story I wanted to share, and it all started about a year ago when I was vacationing in Palm Springs. My 8-year relationship had recently opened, so I knew I wanted to have some, hookups. I had been hosting some guys over my Airbnb and was still horny for one more before bed. I should mention that this was the longest I had been locked in chastity at the time, so I was very, very horny. I start messaging this incredibly hot, tall, beefy guy and plan to have him come over. We'll call him John. But as he confirms, someone I had already been messaging also confirmed, and we'll call him Dan. I did what any slut would do and offered to have them both over to fuck me at the same time. Dan arrived first, and we got started with some foreplay until John arrived. And I get John's message, opened the gate, brought him into the bedroom. But right away, they already knew each other and were buddies, but not the ones that typically play together. So I'm like, we can, of course, call it off, but they were down to keep going. So they're taking turns on me, one in each hole pretty much the entire time. It was incredibly hot, and Dan eventually comes and leaves. I was already a bit more into John, so I thought this was the perfect moment to give him my most undivided attention, and it was amazing. Intimate, verbal, sweaty sex. He was a verbal dom as he fucked me from behind and then on my back. So I made sure to get his socials to stay in touch. And turns out he travels to New York City fairly frequently. And actually yesterday, we met up in Brooklyn. I instantly felt the reconnection, and we had an incredible hookup. Brian, he is one of the best kissers I've met, which is really important to me. And Judson, even though we're around the same age, he adopted this like daddiness in a way that helped me feel very taken care of and serviced as a boy. He topped me, and it was better than I even remembered. We then transitioned onto toys and hands, and it was part hookup, part hangout that lasted nearly 3 hours, and I loved every single minute of it. The communication and the connection was unreal as he took care of me while pushing me and my hole to new heights and experiences. That trip to Palm Springs felt like a really formative few days in my newly open relationship as I explored the comfort with my body and sexuality. Not only did I get a sexy friend from that Palm Springs weekend, I also got pink eye. But that's a whole other hookup story.
Hookup of the Week. What this listener does not know is that they also daddied in this scenario. Here's my take.
Okay.
So the listener is hooking up with John and Dan.
Yeah.
The listener realizes that John and Dan know each other and might be uncomfortable in the situation. They're friends, but they don't play together.
Right.
And gives them the option, aka being in service of their needs, of calling the whole thing off.
Yeah.
That is a daddy move. Like, I love this whole story.
Yeah.
I just wanted to underscore that particular piece. Like, bravo.
There's so much about this that I love. I love, let's just throw in as a casual comment, having been locked in chastity. And not just
and by the way,
and not just that, the longest time I've been locked in chastity. I just love it. I love that, just full stop. But that it was just like a throwaway comment, like there's no like further like context or explanation around that. That's amazing. I think that's always for me the fantasy is like, the two people want to hook up with me at the same time on the apps, but to like then try to coordinate. I find that coordination is so challenging to make happen.
Yes.
But in my experience, when that does happen, you tend to like either get the people connected or you get images between all of you so that everybody knows who it is. So it was surprising to me to get to the twist that they knew each other and didn't know that going in.
I actually recently had a guy on Sniffies want to have a third, and he started sending me pictures of the third he was interested in including, and I declined because it was someone that I knew on like a friendly, non-sexual basis.
Right.
And I just said, listen, he's really hot. I'm sure he's a great time in bed. I know him, and I don't go there with him.
Right.
So absolutely have fun if you decide to go that route. And then if it's just you and me, it would have to be you and me.
Yeah. I know that happened to my husband once where somebody wanted to arrange a threesome and the person he sent was somebody that we know, but not somebody we know very well.
Right.
And Toby was like, sure. And then once I heard the story, I was like, well, now I want to hook up with that guy, which ended up happening at an underwear party in Fire Island. What else did I love about this or find interesting? That once they had hooked up as a threesome, at some point, one of them left.
Dan goes.
Yeah.
John stays.
Yeah.
He's more into John.
Yeah.
I also like that the listener acknowledged that John is close to his age.
Yes.
But that it was the daddy dynamic that was there. Like the definition that we use on this show for daddy is not universal. Like this is just the one that we use for conversation.
Right.
People disagree with us all the time. All the time, constantly. And I just appreciate that it resonates with this listener to say, like, there doesn't need to necessarily be a gap, and there can be an agnosticism relative to age. It was a dynamic and an attitude and a confidence.
Yeah.
That's my point.
But have you been in a situation where at some point in a threesome, a third comes and leaves?
I remember a threesome that I had when I lived in Jersey City. I went to this guy's apartment on the waterfront, and he invited a third, and the three of us hooked up, and the third and I left together.
Okay.
And the third goes, I actually kind of was more into you. Like, do you want to hang out more? And then he came over, and we had more sex at my place, just the two of us. So that was pretty dope. Yeah, certainly in 20 plus years of sexual activity, someone must have rolled through and then left.
Well, it reminded me of this, I don't know, sorry listeners if this has aired yet or not, but about the threesome I recently had on the Blowers where I came, relatively early and then didn't know what to do with myself, but I just like stayed there until they were done. And because in my head, I was like leaving was just not even an option. So that was interesting to me to hear. 3 hours. That's how many? 20 minutes times 3 times 3, that's like what, 9 times longer than I usually have to spare. But congratulations, that's amazing.
Sometimes the connection just be like that. And also like each segment of the hookup, because the chemistry might be like really intense and fun and cool, would just be a lot longer. Like the kissing, the touching, 30 minutes. The kissing, 30 minutes, right? Like this is a very basic breakdown of how a hookup can go. But he also said like a hookup and a hang. So there is a world where like they hook up, they hang out a little bit, like get a little seltzer or coffee or whatever, take a break. I love that. I'm open to that. Like I would be down for a hookup and a hang.
Right.
It just time doesn't often permit, nor is the chemistry there so much of the time.
Yeah. But that leaves me to my last thing, which is listener, if this guy is the amazing kisser and top that you say he is, and he comes to Brooklyn often, you know how to get him in touch with me, right?
Listeners, you just found Brian out. The whole reason that we started this segment.
Hey, you say the whole podcast is for you to hook up more easily.
Fair. Okay, fair.
All right. That was amazing. Thank you so much for submitting. We are going to be back very soon with Derek Frazier. Many of you know him as Big D from season 23 of Big Brother, which was a historic season, particularly because of Derek's involvement. So Derek is awesome and a lot of fun and has a lot of cool things to share with us and a lot of just thought-provoking conversations. So we will be right back with Derek Frazier.
See you in a moment.
This is going to be a lot of fun.
I'm already thrilled.
We have with us, welcome to Dads and Daddies, Derek Frazier, Big D.
Welcome, Big D.
Thank you, guys. Wait, I love that it's Dad and Daddies. Like, I feel like I'm safe.
Yes.
But I'm also wondering, like, because we're in the dungeon, is
Mhm.
there like a sling involved? Am I like, are we getting on our knees to serve me? Like, what's going on?
That's the vibe. Like, we want you to feel safe at first, but
Right.
also curious as to what might happen.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here. But wait, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting
Great
me.
to have
Yes.
I
So,
feel I've never been to this side of New York.
okay.
So I'm like, what is this? You're like, oh, this is Brooklyn. And I'm like, it's not Brooklyn. What Brooklyn is this?
I call this neighborhood New York's best kept secret. Let me tell our listeners exactly who you are and why I personally am so excited that you're here. So I've mentioned before that my husband and I, one of the reasons we knew that we were meant for each other is that even before we met, we were both watchers of Big Brother.
Really? So you guys really dedicate your time to watching that damn live feed?
We don't do live feeds so
good.
much.
Oh, God. Thank God.
No. I think in our single lives, we each had a season or two where we were into the live feeds, but no, we don't necessarily have the time for the live feeds, but we are there for every broadcast on CBS.
Yeah.
And I can say unequivocally, without question, that season 23 of Big Brother, which is the season that Derek was the runner-up, was the most exciting, engaging, fun, thrilling season to watch because what Derek and his alliance pulled off was unlike anything anybody had ever seen, and it transcended reality TV. It made headlines across the nation, and so I'm going to ask you to explain exactly what I'm talking about in a minute. But what happened was, I forget which TikTok of ours it was, but you commented on one of our TikToks,
Yes.
and I am very reticent to check out the comments on TikTok because they can be hateful.
But you also never know who's in them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Toby, my husband, is kind of the comment watcher for me, and he screen grabbed and he was like, "Look who commented on your post." And then I think you then reached out to us on Instagram,
Yes.
and said, "I love your podcast," and I couldn't believe it. And so we made this happen.
Yes. And listen, I will tell you this. The best thing about this was that if I find a video I like, I will go through and like look at stuff that I like. And, I'm finding conversations and I'm like, I want to come on here and like talk about things too. But I love the fact that you guys invited me and I truly appreciate it. I'm so excited.
Oh my God,
to be
we're so
here.
thrilled you're here.
And, Big Brother 23, I don't know. A lot of people will say this, even though I'm a runner-up, there wasn't a lot of running for me. It was a lot of relaxing, as they say, and sleeping and all this other shit.
Well, that's a lot of time to be in a house with no stimuli outside of the people that you're in it with.
Yes. But other than that, I'll let you get into it. I'm not going to ruin it. But, it was definitely a season where I can say I'm very happy that we did what we did.
Yeah.
But it was a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
And still to this day, still dealing with a lot of things.
Oh, that's so interesting. I'm going
Yeah.
to read your bio
Yeah.
so that our listeners who don't know what we're talking about know
Okay.
who you are. And then I want you to
Yes.
go into a little
Take
bit
out
more.
the OnlyFans part.
Is
We're
there
actually
OnlyFans?
leading with it.
Derek Frazier is a dynamic reality TV personality, podcast host, and proud Philadelphia native, best known as the runner-up on CBS's Big Brother 23. The son of legendary world champion boxer Smokin' Joe Frazier, Derek brings a unique blend of grit, charisma, and heart to everything he does. A proud black gay man, Derek identifies as a gay bear in the LGBTQ+ community and represents with confidence, authenticity, and pride. He's known for his big personality, unfiltered honesty, and ability to keep it real, whether it's stirring the pot in the Big Brother house or breaking down the latest reality TV drama on his podcast. Derek co-hosts the Royal Tea podcast on the Heavy Crown Network alongside his best friends and fellow Big Brother alum, Tiffany Mitchell and Hannah Chadha. Together, they dish on everything from Big Brother and Survivor to The Traitors, The Challenge, and The Amazing Race, bringing fans the inside scoop and plenty of laughs. Recently, Derek has undergone an inspiring personal transformation, losing over 82 pounds in just 15 months. He's also currently pursuing his master's degree in cybersecurity, proving he's not only a force in entertainment, but also in the tech world. Whether he's lighting up a room, a screen, or a podcast mic, Derek Frazier brings bold opinions, infectious energy, and a whole lot of heart.
Come on, Hart. Now, also,
Damn, I'm not worthy.
No, you are worthy. Listen, the only reason I'm going into cybersecurity is so I can hack the fans and get them for all their nasty comments they say about me. And I'm going to start getting all their bank accounts and messing with them and tell them, oh, you know what? I took some money out your bank account for your nasty comment. Now it's going to me. That's the only reason I'm doing cybersecurity, just so I can hack things.
So for somebody who doesn't know what the Cookout was, can you give like a intro to the concept?
Of course. Let's make it plain and simple.
Yeah.
Big Brother has not, and I'm going to say this regular season, because everybody's always like, what about Tamar Braxton? And I'm like,
right. We're
relax.
not talking celebrity Big Brother.
Right. We're talking about regular Big Brother for the show that everyone majority watches.
Yeah.
Has never had a black winner. So when we walked
at
into
this point,
when you
enter the house.
in 2021,
yes,
when we walked into this house, I already was talking to my friends at home after I binge watched Big Brother. I was like, if there's more than like me there, I'm gonna like make us all work together. So when we walked in the house, and I want to solidify everything, I made the initiation to talk to every member of the Cookout, besides Hannah. Hannah was the only one that was like busy in the bathroom, but everybody else I talked to, okay? And I said, hey.
And what, I'm sorry, just to make it super plain, like what was the common?
No, the common factor was that we were all POCs, African-American descent.
Yeah.
We all wanted to work together to make sure that a black winner of Big Brother won. So when I walked into the house, I looked at them like, hey, me and you are going to work together. Me and you are going to work together. Y'all going to work together. Like, I initiated the conversation. I did not come up with the name. Xavier came up with the name. Tiffany came up with this mastermind plan to get us to the end.
Yeah.
Okay. But we all played our part in order to do this. But the reason why we wanted to do this was that we were willing to throw our game down for the sake of you, or somebody to win. Just because of the fact that we want this to happen.
Yeah.
And we were lucky enough to even understand that if something like a wrench gets thrown into our plan, we still keep going until somebody makes it to the end.
Yeah.
And we were okay with that. And it's something that people, when they watch Big Brother, they technically could do it.
Right.
But I don't know if they would sacrifice their feelings, because even when we had our issues and problems, we still were like, I would look at somebody and be like, remember the Cookout?
Yeah.
You think you're going to be slick to that? Girl, go back up there and go talk to them and figure out how I'm going to make it to the next. Figure it out. And that's how we dynamic. But it was a beautiful thing. I'm very happy that at least I don't have a lot of credit. At least I was able to initiate that, because that's still, I'm putting myself out there to say, we're all going to work together, and all us black people are going to work together, which I'm happy of the outcome it was.
And this was what year?
This was the year right after COVID.
Right.
So it's interesting, because our casting portion of Big Brother, usually they do casting in person. Our casting wasn't in person. All our stuff had to be over Zoom, multiple Zooms, multiple like type of conversations that needed to happen in order to get us to where I was.
Yeah.
And this was a season where there was a new casting person who was taking over, who normally does Survivor, which is Jesse Tatum. So he was coming in, and I think he was like, he picked up great, like the whole entire
cast. The
whole entire cast of Big Brother 2023 is gamers, personalities, entertainment. You can get it all. Like, I feel like, to tell you the truth, it's still the best casting group that in the new era in a long time,
Well,
where you can pick people from it and throw them on to other shows and other things.
So there were a couple things, or so many things, about the Cookout and that season that were so exciting for those of us who watched these kinds of shows all the time.
Yeah.
One of which is that you see so many seasons of these shows where people say, we're going to stick together for this larger purpose, and it never lasts more
the
than...
The Women's Alliance, the Gays Alliance, the Man Alliance, the This Alliance.
It never
half
lasts.
of one episode.
Yes.
Till the challenge.
And so to actually see it for the first time work at a time where... So this was just after George Floyd, correct?
Yes, and this is all after Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
So this is also during COVID. We're all been locked up in the house.
Yes.
You know, I got as big as a fucking house. So yeah, I mean, it was
so thrilling. But Tiffany's master plan that you alluded to before was that you each then had an alliance with somebody outside of the Cookout.
Besides, so the crazy part about this plan is when she came up with this plan, and everyone, I love her to death. She's my best friend. She knows that. But when she came up with this plan, I was like, and you know, me and her were kind of butting heads. I was like, damn, she making this plan after my person already went home. So I'm like, shit.
Right.
So like Frenchie was my person. Even though she was saying me and Azza share Brittany, I was like, we really didn't share Brittany. Like Brittany was dedicated to Azza. So it's like, I didn't have a person. So when she came up with this plan, we all had a +1.
Right.
It was like, I got to go with it because I'm already here. So it's just what it was.
But what you were just saying about how the casting of the whole cast that year was so great, because we knew all these other people were getting played, but they were such great players. It just made for a great, great season.
Yeah.
So anyway, all that to say, I'm so excited you're here.
Thank you. I'm here to talk whatever you guys want to talk.
Well, I also want to, applaud you for the humility around, you said, well, I didn't do much except start the conversation.
Yeah.
Honey, that is huge. I am the glue in so many groups. Like my entire corporate career is getting the right people to talk. Mm-hmm. It's obviously like selling software is way different than a Black Alliance on a reality TV show. But
Which will be best friends because we're going to cybersecurity. So
exactly. But like being the conversation starter and getting people involved in the mission is one of the most, it was Tiffany's plan, but like you got everyone going.
Yeah. Yeah, I will say this, and like you just said, the glue, and each member of the Cookout knows that. They know that Big D was willing to throw himself on the block and make myself the pawn and take those risks that they didn't want to take, because if you think about it, sitting on the block multiple times, I mean, it could be a good thing. I wish I would have spent it a little bit more like that towards the end, but you don't really want to sit on the block a lot. You know, it doesn't really help your resume as much, depending on who you are and how you sell it. But I was willing to throw myself out there, make myself vulnerable, not, you know, also winning BB bucks and not using it to my advantage where I could have been an HOH at some time and things like that. So it's just like, I do understand what you're saying because I'm the glue to like all my friend groups and keep everybody together. So it was, I would tell you this, mentally being in the house is a lot, but then on top of that, having this alliance with the other 5 people that you're responsible for, you had to seriously lay your guard down and go, they got me. I don't have to, half of the times, we didn't even have conversations. It would be like 2 of them knew what was going on and we just followed on along.
Right.
Or we would make a decision and they would have to go with it. And that's hard when it comes to these type of alliances. But I really want to tell people, other people can do it.
Yeah.
And with Big Brother, we're now at Big Brother 27.
Yeah.
Them going into this house, they could do it. They technically can do it. If a group of people are like, if we stick together and do this, no matter what, they can do it.
Yeah, ride or die.
It can happen, ride or die. But you got to think about it. There's money on the line. People don't trust each other.
Right.
I mean, look at us now. We barely even trust anybody down the street. Right?
So I do want to move more into our gay lives than our reality lives because Judson doesn't know what we're talking about, but and is
I don't really, man.
I Googled Gemini the whole thing.
Okay.
I got a return.
ChatGPT, tell me who Big D is from Big Brother.
I got a return from the whole internet.
Well, I don't want to. I don't want to bore you, and there's so much I want to ask you about. But I do want to say that I love that you have continued to have a relationship, a close friendship with Tiffany, with Hannah. That you guys have a podcast together.
Yes. And me and Tiffany had a whole blown up fight in the Big Brother house.
Yes.
But, and it's funny because after we got done, and I'm going to try to move on, but after we got done, me and Tiffany we had a sit down conversation, and there was things I had to apologize. The issue that a lot of fans had with me was that I used the bitch word, and I used it in a way of like, fuck that bitch, I don't care about this bitch,
Right.
that bitch,
Right.
hey bitch, because gay people, gay men,
Right.
they use it all the time,
Right.
bad and good,
Right.
And it just wasn't a common thing that the show that's predominantly, how can I say, predominantly straight viewers,
Right.
white at that,
Right.
don't really know the gay lingo or how we are.
Right.
But I had to understand, I had to sit down and tell myself, like, I can't imagine a little black girl who's watching the show,
Right.
watching me probably call so-and-so, or live feeds, calling so-and-so a B and things
Right.
like that. And I had to apologize for that and
Yeah.
understand where my wrongs were with my sisters, in the cookout. And I did it to them in private and also publicly, because I wanted people to understand that that's not who I am. To
Right.
this day, I still call them bitches, but
Right.
they know it's in a fun way.
Well, it's so funny you say this because we're watching Drag Race All-Stars with our daughters,
oh,
and
unfortunately.
every other...
Are you entertained?
I mean, listen, watching something with your kids...
Do you feel like production's making decisions? Yes, I answered it for you.
Watching
Yes.
something with your kids is fun, and like, we also just watched season 17 with them, so they're big Lydia fans, so they were excited to see Lydia back, and it's fun to watch them cheering for them. But the point I'm trying to make is that we have to tell them, like, just because they use bitch every other word does not mean you can start calling your friends bitch.
Correct.
Or each other, right?
Yeah.
For now.
Can you imagine? I'm like upstairs and there I hear them playing like, hey bitch.
I would love it, but
I'm just waiting for them when they get older and they're like, oh my God, my dad, a bitch.
Yeah. Well, it's not too much older. We're almost there. And so you have this podcast where you talk reality TV with Tiffany and Hannah, and now Tiffany has just been cast in the next season of The Traitors.
Yes, and she's been kidnapped, and I've not talked to her, and it's so weird.
But that's got to be also thrilling for you guys.
No, it's very thrilling. You know what? Here's the thing. Traitors was, and I've talked about this multiple times. I'm the only member in this Cookout Alliance that hasn't got a chance to compete again. It's a little frustrating, but I've learned, like, maybe it's not my time, and it's weird. It's like being in Destiny Child or NSYNC or Backstreet Boy.
Right.
Everyone's got a solo but me.
Right.
But when Traitors came out and me and Tiffany like watched it, I was like, they have to, even though I'm like, I would love my opportunity, I'm like, they have to call Tiffany first, and then I would love to be called next.
Yes.
But I was so happy, and when I saw that she was, when they released it on Peacock and showed her, I was like, oh my God, this is great. But I also lost my friend because I haven't talked to her. And I'm a whole month at this point. I'm like, is everything okay? Are you all right? And I can't. So it's really great that we do recap. And, also, I feel like there's going to be other people that are going to be doing shows in the future. I can't talk about it, but I feel like there's going to be other people doing shows in the future. So it's just exciting time of the year right now. So, yeah, but we did work it out. And we're like, obviously you could say we're best friends. We sit on FaceTime like every day. We watch shows together. We watch Baddies together.
I love that.
She don't like me to tell that publicly, but we watch the Ratchet Zoo shows together. We'll watch Netflix shows together. And, it's just like, I love her to death. I'm so thankful for her and all the members of the Cookout, from Xavier and Kylan and Azza, Hannah, and even the whole Big Brother, 23 cast, like Alyssa and Brittany and Christian, the rest of them. Like, it just feels like we all, Brent too, we all like kind of, because people forget about Brent. I'm like, don't forget about my boy Brent. I love Brent. Like, Brent Champagne is like my homie. But it's like we just all like, it's so crazy when you meet these people because you feel like you know them for years. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to cut the Big Brother talk because we need to talk about penises.
We do need to talk about penises. I'm very proud of you for what you've put in your bio here about your transformation.
Oh, thank you.
What do you want to tell us about that?
So, it's been a very long journey for me. I got up to the biggest I ever been last year. And I feel like you guys have talked about friendships on the podcast. Did I say that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. So last year of January, I probably hit up to 409. I had a really bad friendship breakup that really made me feel, and I'm not going to get deep into it. It just really did hurt me a lot because this person was somebody that I considered like my brother. And I just never would expect, like, people have drunk nights and things like that to cause to throw a friendship away, but it felt like it kind of been waiting to happen.
Okay.
And I think it was a blessing in disguise on both ends. And there's no hate or, hatred on my side. I'm not a hateful person. I'm more of like, got it. You had to do what you had to do. Got it. But when that happened, I went to the doctors and I remember being like, the doctor was like, you are 409 and you are a diabetic. And I said, whoa, because I think about like my family, high blood pressure runs in our family,
Right.
My grandparents, my dad. And I was just so broken at the time. And then that month of February, after I got done that doctor's appointment, I was smoking heavily. I was drinking every weekend. And I just told myself, I got to get into this gym and I just got to go every day. And one day it will come off. So I just went back to my CrossFit gym. I really dedicated. I told, at the time, I kind of lost all my friends, to be honest. Like they all just like went along with the other person. So I like lost my whole entire friend group. So I had to rebuild. And it taught me a lot about life and just how people really are, and people that really are your friends and sometimes really not.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym 6 days a week. I went to the gym 6 days a week, and inch by inch, I just started getting myself together. And then by the time you know it, going into, which I know we're going to talk about, going into Bear Week last year, my first time, I wasn't as confident as I was. And I was like, I don't want to feel like this going into next year.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm gonna take it up to high gear. One of my gym mates, she was so nice. She was like, I'm gonna get you the program with the coach, and he helped me figure out food and things like that. And I just told myself, like, I got tired of all and the other things I was dealing with, a lot of hate. The fandom online. I know like celebrities, I'm not a celebrity. There's celebrities that are top notch. I think about like the A-listers.
Right.
And they get hate all the time. I remember just reading things constantly of just like, you're fat, you're delusional, you're flop. And these words are, you're lazy, you slept. Like these words that fans like to use to tie around to somebody big. But they would not say that about you and you.
Right.
They only say that because if for someone like me who, if you ask everybody in the house, I was always up early in the morning doing stuff and doing stuff throughout the day. It was only nighttime where I was like, all right, I'm getting sleepy, I'm going to bed, where everybody else would be up at night and then sleeping during the day. But I would get, the fans, that's the only thing they said about me. But seeing those negative comments just made me realize I have to get myself together.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to ever be a skinny bitch. I'm not a skinny bitch. I don't need to be a skinny bitch. I just told myself, I just want to tighten up things, get a little bit smaller so I can at least have a little bit of more of a frame, a little bit more of a, a cinch waist or whatever, and just feel confident. So that was the journey. I'm still on that journey. It's never going to stop. And I just realized to myself, if I ever do show myself again, on TV, if I ever get the opportunity, I just want to be a better version of me mentally, but also like physically.
Yeah.
So, it's been a journey.
Well, congratulations.
That was very long-winded. I'm
no,
so
that was
sorry.
amazing.
No.
No,
So
it's you should be very proud, and it's
Thank you.
It's fascinating to hear about. Yeah.
Yeah, so,
And you're absolutely right when you say, I mean, that
and the gay community is very toxic when it comes to weight too. So it's like
the hate that comes towards a large body is very different than the kind of stuff we receive. People very rarely comment on our physical appearance.
Yeah.
I mean, they definitely think we're fucking delusional.
I need to make a public announcement. Everybody in the fucking world is delusional. Like in some form of brain, you are delusional. Think about the jobs that you got. You probably got jobs that are not in your qualification. You're delusional. There's probably people that you wish upon, delusional. There's so much delusion in the world. And it's like when people call you that, I'm like, what is the problem? But you're right. Like, it's weird because when I went on this show, I wanted to represent for the big guys. I wanted to represent for the Bears. I felt like there was never a on Big Brother.
Yeah.
But the crazy part is, and I'm going to get into this.
Yeah.
I consider myself a bear, but it's weird because the bear community did not accept me as a bear.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is that, and I might get a little deep into it.
No, please.
It's crazy to me that you have someone that identifies as a bear, but even the bears that watch Big Brother, I didn't feel like they kind of gave me the same type of love that I was expecting. I didn't feel like they had my back like how I thought they were going to have my back.
They didn't pull you into the fold as like a fellow bear.
Correct.
Uh-huh.
But I bet you if I was a white bear, it would have been a whole different dynamic. And that's what I've kind of realized after doing Big Brother and just like over the years reading comments, seeing how people stand things and things like that. I've realized that. And it kind of did hurt me, but it also made me feel like, I'm wondering what happens. And I hope it does happen. I'm hoping they do put a white bear in Big Brother. And I want to see how they react.
Right.
I want to see if they're going to be standing and and all that and being like, okay, got it.
Right.
But until my point, it's not fully, how can I say? It's not, I can't say it's 100% accurate, but when it does happen, just remember I said that here.
Okay.
Play it back when it happens.
We have it on video.
What is your day-to-day, like, outside of the comments, outside of the fandom?
Yeah.
What is your day-to-day personal life like as a bear of color?
Yeah. So, I mean, just my day-to-day life on every day is, I go to the gym. I wake up early in the morning. I go to the gym. I work from home. And then, as I'm working from home, I sometimes do schoolwork. But, usually I'm focused on school, work. I am helping my mom right now. I kindly moved back home to kind of help her out for a little bit, just to kind of regroup, because I don't want to be in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Go Birds, always. But I just don't really care about the gay scene in Philadelphia. I feel like it's kind of been like washed out, dried, thrown, stepped over. It's like nothing there for me. And I think because I've been in it since I was like 17 years old, like going to the 21 clubs.
You done it.
Yeah, I've done it. So, with me, and I cut that out last year. I haven't been out in the neighborhood of Philadelphia since January.
Okay.
My friends are always like, let's go out. Come on, girl, come on. Just come. It's just going to be us. I promise you. I'm like, I don't want to see anybody who I don't fuck with.
Right.
Because I don't know how I'm going to react. And also it's like, what am I going out for? I'm going to put on cologne, smell good, look good, and nobody's going to talk to me. What am I wasting my time for?
So is that your experience?
That's always been my experience.
Okay.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. And, other than that, just work. And then I'm a gamer. I'm a gamer. I love my video games.
Yeah.
I'm playing Fortnite, Overwatch, Marvels, all that. I love gaming. I game with my gays who I love. I have my little core gays that are like literally my therapists. Like my best friends, Joe and Brandon, they literally are I tell them everything.
Yeah.
And they're married and I love it. So it's like I get the best of both worlds. And they got cute little cats. So yeah.
So then tell me, this is gonna air likely on I think July the 8th. So Bear Week is just about to begin in Provincetown, and you're on your way to Bear Week.
I am.
So tell me about
Still
that.
Need to lose 5 more pounds before then. Some type of way.
So tell me, like, why why do you go to Bear Week then?
So you know what? Bear Week last year was my first time. And I didn't really understand it. I've always had a dream about going. It's always been like,
we should probably explain what is Bear Week in Provincetown.
Yeah.
Oh, should I explain it?
Wait,
no,
you know what? I saw
not
this.
me.
Wait, I saw this TikTok the other day. Do you know what a bear is?
Do I know what a bear is? You know what? It's almost like I
feel bad, and I just want to say,
is this the TikTok of
yes,
who did they ask?
This girl who asked her friend do you know what a bear is?
Yes.
And he's a gay man.
Yes.
No,
he's from Overcompensating. He's the gay in Overcompensating. And then and now he's on that show Adults or Adulting.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I feel like bear, honestly, it's kind of like, oh, I know it when I see it, but I'd have a shit time defining it for other people.
Right. And I want to say this real quick about that clip. Yeah. I felt really bad that she got dragged so badly. And like, I was like, you have to understand, some people, me being a black bear, a bear in general, I'm not even going to put a color on it. Being a bear in general, people still don't know what it is. And you could be gay or straight. Like, I know plenty of gay people that are like, I don't know any of the acronyms.
Right.
Twink, bear, jock, daddy.
So what is your definition of bear?
So I would say bear to me is someone who is larger, someone who is on the hairier side, someone who has extra meat to them. It could be a little bit of more a stomach. It could be more thighs. It could be a little bit more chest. Just someone who's a little bit on the larger side.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it. And it also can be somebody who, what else can I say? Those are the top 3.
Yeah.
And of course has to have a beard. I don't think you could be a bear without a beard or some type of facial hair.
Okay.
I would say like a mustache maybe, but really like a beard is like the
mutton chop.
It's like the the juice and butter to it.
So, for example,
Yeah.
let's say you are big dude,
Yeah.
300 pounds,
Yeah.
what I would call duck toast, which is like a firm under. Okay, so very quickly, duck toast among my group of friends. We were all waiters at Gramercy Tavern together in the early 2010s.
Okay.
There was an item on the menu called duck toast, and it was
Okay.
like this very firm toast point
Okay.
with then a mound of duck rillette, like duck mousse and shredded duck meat on top.
Oh, okay.
So that's how we would refer to these guys that look like retired baseball players. You know what I mean? Where they have like a firm undercarriage, but then like a cushion on top.
Yes, I get that. I see
So if, you got this duck toasty dude, 300 pounds, 6'3", furry on the body, no beard, no mustache. Not a bear? Tricky woo, right?
that is very tricky.
I think it's a bear. I think that
And
I think
call
your
it, Mike
taste.
call it a
I think
dad at that point because he's a little bit older, right?
I mean, I didn't even... Gotcha. Didn't even mention an age.
So Provincetown is a gay town in Cape Cod, and there's a week that kind of caters to the bear community.
Yes,
so
and they have a theme for every week.
Right.
Yes, of course.
And so I will be attending later this summer for Family Week, but you will both be there for Bear Week, which by the time this is airing is starting in just a few days.
Great, and we can tell everyone about it to watch it.
Watch it.
And so you went for your first time last year.
Yes, I was not prepared. It was like I felt very overwhelmed. I only went for 3 nights. It was the night after the Big Brother premiere, and I rushed up there with my my other best friend Dash, who was on Netflix, the Squid Game show, The Challenge. Okay. And he's like my little twink, redhead twink. Love him, like chaos.
Yes, and he'll be there again with you this year.
Yes, he'll be again this year.
Yes, Big Brother pregame party.
We are hosting a Big Brother a Big Brother watch party for Big Brother 27 at the Brewery House, 1620 Brewery House that Wednesday, just to kind of bring everybody together, just a little pregame.
Yeah.
But when I went last year, I just felt like I was lost. They were like themes. They're like tea parties. I'm like, what the fuck is a tea party? Like, do we bring a cup of tea? What's going on? They're like, no, it's a theme. Then they're like, there's a jockstrap party. There's a leather party. There's a underwear party. I'm like, I didn't pack for this. I just packed like
you could bring a whole separate suitcase for all the themed shit.
And that's exactly why this year I have learned. I had to see my spreadsheet. I made a whole
spreadsheet.
Oh my God, you sound like me.
Where's my phone? I'm about to show you this motherfucking spreadsheet. Hold on one sec. And not Kylan. See, I manifested that. I haven't heard from fucking Kylan in fucking months, weeks, and he called me randomly. See that? Randomly.
Wow.
Boop. Okay, let me show you this motherfucking spreadsheet.
I have no chance with Kylan, right?
That's my man.
Oh my God.
It's very difficult. Very difficult. We fight a lot, but I love him to death, and
I had such a crush on him.
I know.
Put in a good word.
He's such a pansexual.
Oh.
It's
maybe I do.
Maybe you do have a shot.
Very interesting. Look at this spreadsheet. I made a whole spreadsheet. Bitch. I made a whole spreadsheet of everything that is happening.
Wow.
The themes, the parties.
Wow, look at
everything, the drag queens that are performing while you're there.
That's incredible. I mean, that's me planning a Disneyland trip, and he's doing it
can
for
you
Bear Week in
share
Peacock.
it? Is it shareable?
Yeah,
okay,
shareable.
great. I'm all set.
Yeah. Let me make sure I give it to you now. I have your number on my phone, right?
No, you have mine.
Oh, I have yours.
Yes.
Okay, so I have to make sure I get your number.
I'll hit you up with it.
Tell the people now.
No, Will.
You can reach me at.
So I said to myself this year, I felt like I didn't really get the full experience.
Right, okay.
So I was like, you know what, this year I'm going to get like a house and stay longer. I'm going to go from like a Monday to Saturday because I feel like that's enough.
Okay.
Doing Friday to motherfucking Sunday, you got to be crazy. That is wild.
Right.
So going into this year, I feel more confident. I feel ready to go. I feel like I would definitely feel... my issue is that I don't really go up to guys and talk to them. That's my problem. Sometimes. And when I do, it's always like, oh, I'm married, or, it's always a fucking excuse. And I'm like, fuck, I can never just find someone single to talk to.
Right.
So I'm really going to take the time to not get as drunk and like maybe go outside during the day, do some of the day activities, and maybe not get too drunk where I can actually like talk to you and have conversation and see how it goes. So if you've never been to Bear Week, it's literally just a week of partying, but embracing all different type of body frames. I would say this, the environment last year was great to the point that I wanted to go this year because I felt like it's the one place when it comes to the gay community where I did feel like everyone was very accepting. Everyone was like being themselves. I feel like people didn't really like they were just living their lives. Like people were shirtless, not feeling judged or things like that. Now, there still is, I do have a little bone to pick. I went to Spooky Bear Weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That was an epic fail.
What is that?
That is P-Town during Halloween. And it's called Spooky Bear Weekend. It's supposed to be a weekend for bears.
Okay.
Baby.
It's circuity, isn't it?
Baby, it felt like circuit. And I'm going to say this now. I hate circuit music. I don't know how people do it. I think it's fucking ridiculous. We should get rid of it. There needs to be words. Like, I want to dance and hear words or at least give me a dance vibe. Some of that circus shit is just like weird, man.
Right.
Like, and everyone don't do drugs to understand it. So it's like too much. But
did you see, though, really quickly during Bear Week, the Bear Yonsei dance party?
Oh, baby. I told all my friends the Big Brother watch party is mandatory. Their Beyonce is mandatory.
Beyonce,
yes. I was like, I got my cowboy hat, boots. Oh, I'm ready to go. I'm not playing. I'm like, all my friends, they were like, oh, what about the slinglet? I don't care about the fucking slinglet party. We're going to the Beyonce. It's the one party I feel like I know I'm going to get words and I'm going to get a little bit of hip hop. Yeah. That's all I want. But A-House is good. I feel like A-House plays a different type of music compared to the other bars in Red Room, where like Purgatory and these other places, I'm a little bit nervous. But to finish up my thought, you know, going into when I went to Spooky Bear Weekend, it ended up being circuit, but it also turned into muscle jocks.
Got it.
So it was like very muscle daddies, muscle jocks, and I was like, "Where's the bears?" Like, even when I told my friend, I was like, "Tell my friend, like, oh my god, you're gonna love it." My friend Heisem, who was on Big Brother 25, I made him come all the way from Seattle, Washington. He was like, "I'm gonna come see this bear area that you're talking about." He was like, "Girl, where's the bears?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Girl, I don't know. This is my first time going, but I don't think I'm ever gonna go back to Spooky Bear Weekend.
Right.
I'd rather just save my money and go to Bear Week."
Right.
So yeah. So if you've never been, you love bears, you love bigger guys, you love body positivity, go, and you'll have a good time. But I still think there's some, I think one of the things I was going to talk to you about when it comes to the bear community, I still think we have a lack of when it comes to the PLCs in the bear community.
Say more.
Yeah. And the reason why I say that is because even when I attended Bear Week last year, there wasn't a lot of, I didn't see a lot of guys like me there.
Okay.
And P-Town in general is diversity. Like, I was like, whoa. I saw a lot of black people. I was like, where all these black people come from? I didn't know y'all were in the rich area. I was like, oh, girl, go. So I was really happy to see that.
Yeah, the rest of Cape Cod is not known for black people.
But I don't know. When I was up there was a lot of POCs. I was shook. But when it comes to the bear community, I feel like the POCs in the bear community do not get the same praise as the white bears. And I feel like that's such a big problem.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wish I could break the barriers because I'm like, why? Like, even when it comes to, it took what? How long did it take motherfucking Nasty Pig to finally get like people with POCs on there? If you think about it, like all these like bear type of, things that are supposed to be an outlet for us. I just feel like we're missing sometimes of the community and we don't kind of praise sometimes of others that are in that community. And I think that's a problem across all gay communities. But for me, identifying as a bear, I'm just kind of like, where's our moment?
Yeah.
Like, when we going to get the shine? When we going to be the sex appeal? Other than, usually we're just known for like, I hate to say this, but it's the truth. We're just known for like the big B, BBC, or, we're known as like just the sex, activity. We're not known as like somebody we want to desire or marry or want to date. And I think that's a big issue when it comes to the community. Now, someone like me, predominantly, I'm always open to all guys, but predominantly the guys that do talk to me or do that attract to me are predominantly like white men. And I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's like what me and like bread or something. Like, I guess I'm addicted to bread. but and I do like I will dibble dabble with my chocolate every once in a while.
Yeah.
But predominantly it is a lot of white men that do talk to me or into me. But it's just weird because when it comes to the dating scene, it's like everyone just sees me as a fuck maggot. like and want to fuck me.
Right.
Like, I just want to fuck him. I just want to hook up with him. I want to suck his dick. But it's like, baby, when do I get the Disney story?
Right.
When do I get that? But it doesn't feel like it's an outlet when it comes to the community. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Am I doing something wrong? Am I like, I've been trying to figure it out. I've been trying to put the pieces together. And I feel like going into Bear Week this year, that's why I told myself I'm going to sit back and see what happens this time around. Like, do I go out and somebody will actually come up and talk to me, or and I don't mind it. Oh my God, I love you. You're from Big Brother. Love that. Got it. But it's also like,
yeah.
What else? So I don't know. Maybe you daddies can give me some advice, because I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm here for therapy, guys.
No, this is therapy. Ask Brian. I have a question for you. Like, you personally, if someone were to approach you, what could they say or do that would make you feel seen beyond just a sex object? Right? Like, I see you at the pool party, and I'm like, that dude's hot, and I want to get to know him a little bit. What's my approach?
I would say the first approach is just coming over and just literally saying like, hey, how are you? And just saying like, hey, you look really good, by the way. I was checking you out. Like, just those things. And then you can go into, I love you from Big Brother, but like, at least open the door for me to feel like, okay, you're interested. Because, other than that, I'm not gonna know. But I also know where my flaws are, where I'm really going to build up my confidence this time, because I feel like I have confidence when it comes to the straights. I have confidence when it comes to doing this podcast, Big Brother, being Big D and all that other shit, being Joe Frazier's son. Got it. But when it comes to the gay community, I'm like this.
Yeah.
I'm this. I might be a big dude, but I'm like this. Because I'm
I get it.
I feel like I've got turned down so many times where it just gets exhausting.
Of course.
And I'm like,
no, I mean, it's a natural reaction, but what we talk about...
And I have a resting bitch face.
Okay, well...
I do. I do. I mean, you'll see it. You'll see it. I want you to, when you see me in P-Town, be like, girl, smile, bitch.
Well, step one is to be aware of it. But I will say, we talk about this, that like, confidence is sexy.
Yeah.
And... sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. And even if you are in those situations...
My 8th grade teacher told me that. You just gave me...
But it's true. It's like, it's a lesson I try to pass down in work, with all the people I mentor. Like, there are so many situations you find yourselves in where you just feel that imposter syndrome, or you feel just like out of your element, not confident. But the more you can fake it, even myself still, I'll find myself in situations at work where I'm like, do I know what I'm talking about? But you have to play it like you do. And then I feel like I have these out-of-body experiences where I'm listening to myself saying, oh, he knows a lot more than I do, even though it's me. But yeah, we also talk about how the best thing you can do is just come up and say hi.
I know. I'm trying. I'm hoping with the people I'm going with this time.
Yeah.
I feel confident. Like, for example, I just bought my first harness. Now, let me break this down for anybody getting the
details.
No, for anybody getting
chains.
Listen, my people have been through a lot back in the day, so there ain't no motherfucking chains and whips and shit like that happening in my fucking
As
day,
I said it, I was like, fuck.
No, so the reason why I got a harness was just because of the sheer fact that I was like, okay, let me try to just maybe get involved, maybe looking like maybe others, and maybe that would help. But I don't want motherfuckers to think like any freaky shit. I'm very passionate. I'm very simple. Like, only thing I think I'm freaky about is I love feet. That's it. But not like that. It's just like I like feet.
Yeah.
But like legs and feet are my things, and thighs. But I just got it. So me getting this harness was like, it was like a big deal to me. I'm like, telling my friends, I'm like, girl, what's the best one? I don't want it. Like, they're like, just get a fucking harness. It don't fucking matter. But the reason why I got it is because I was looking at the themes of the parties, and I'm like, okay, there's like a leather party. I ain't that crazy into leather, but I will go get a harness just to kind of put myself out there. And the reason why I'm doing that is because that means I have to be shirtless to wear the harness. And that's like one of my insecurities, being shirtless and things like that. And you would think going to Bear Week, like, oh, baby, it's all about positivity, but you could still feel so small in that bear community, because if you don't have, I like to call it the bear look.
Yeah.
Okay. And that means the frown lip, Okay, the nice beard, the little bit of belly, and just a little bit of chest and like big arms, or you're strapped up with steroids because half of them, majority of them are on steroids. Let's be honest. So it's like, I feel like if you have that bear look, you can't do no wrong. But let's say you might identify as a bear, you might have extra meat on your chest, you might have a bigger belly, you might have a bigger ass, you might have whatever. Do they look at you the same? No. And that's what I have realized, that over the course of time, it's very difficult to be in a community, which you guys get that, you're gay men in the community, and still be judged in different ways. And you would think a bear community that's supposed to be about positivity, that sometimes we're still not there, which is weird to me, because I'm like, we should be there.
The other thing I will say is that I find that when people aren't complimentary, or when people are even derogatory, saying derogatory things, it's because of how they feel about themselves. It has more to do with themselves than you. And we've talked about, like, it does not come naturally to me to give compliments. And I'm aware of it and I'm not proud of it, but it all comes from my own insecurities about myself, And I think that it takes a real self-confidence and a self-love to be able to pass that on to others. And so I think you do have to remember when you're in these situations that the other bitch faces that you're getting and the looks you're getting are because these people...
I'm about to show you what it looks like when I'm in there. I'll be like this.
No, but it's because these people are
unimpressed.
Also feeling
that is what
same,
that's giving.
Like, these people are also feeling the same struggles internally that you are. And so sometimes we just have to, like, step out of it and be the bigger person and be the one to say, hey, and, like, realize that, like, oh, they maybe have a resting bitch face, but so do I. And, like, they may be not talking to anybody, but neither am I. And so one of us has got to be the bigger person.
Yeah, and I think that's...
It is hard. It is hard.
And
it is totally hard.
I'm very, very tiny when it comes. But you'll see, I told myself going into this year, now that I've did the fitness journey, got myself together, I'm like, this is my year going in here. I have a group of friends that are very small. My group of friends, literally my friend told me, you have probably like a couple nights you can wear your shirt. Other than that, we're not wearing a shirt. And I was like, that's like I'm like, girl, no, I need a shirt. That's my protection.
Right.
And like, he's like, no, girl, we're going to bear. Like, what are we doing? We're not driving 7 hours for you to wear a shirt. We can go out somewhere else for you to wear a shirt. Like, we got to live our lives, but in a fun way, the way that he's saying it to me. But I said going into this, I want to make sure that I am a little bit more involved. Usually my mechanism to hide is this.
Your phone,
Yes, that is standard, I think, for everybody anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, song, come on.
Right.
Come
but
on,
that's
girl.
why nobody's going to come up and say hi, because they see you just staring into your phone.
No, of course. But even sometimes when I'm not staring at my phone, it's sometimes, I would say this, even though I think people think because I'm the bigger guy that I'm the guy who has to make the move.
Yes.
But it would be nice because I have never, now wait, let me break this down. Let me try to be very real. I have never been approached by someone that I would like.
Right.
Got it.
Let me break it down like that. Not saying like, and not saying like everybody, everyone has their types. Everybody has their types. I hate that people cannot say, like, I feel like we don't have the freedom to say what we like or what we're into, but everybody has their types and you can still be respectful to everybody else. So I've never been disrespectful to anyone that has approached me. I've always been like, oh, thank you so much. And I always make sure to throw out a compliment about your glasses, your top, your whatever, your hat, like anything, because I'm not one of those mean gays that'll be like, okay,
right,
bye. Like, I'm not like that.
Right.
I'm very like, I'll say something nice. And then, kind of when you're having that conversation, let them know that, hey, it's more of a friend type of level. But I have never had my moment where everyone's like, I met my husband, I met my this, and he came up to me and he bought me a drink, or we laughed about a book or something. Yeah. I've never had that moment of somebody coming over to me, and I have probably lost air to talk. I've never had that because I'm so like, oh, it's like, this is literally my type. I've never had that. Right. So I'm going to try my best to put myself out there. I'm following the themes. You saw the spreadsheet.
I will say too about going out, without your shirt on and feeling uncomfortable, that the other thing, and this is kind of in line with what I was just saying too, is that people aren't judging you. They're all thinking about how they feel.
Themselves.
Nobody's like, yeah. I like when I'm shirtless and feeling awkward about it. I have to remember, like, oh, everybody's just feeling the same way. Nobody's actually looking at me like, why does he have his shirt off? We all know we're out there to have a good time,
Of
and
course.
if nothing else, like I'm always just like, I love that we're all just celebrating ourselves. What is your Do you partake of the apps at all? Do you? What's your life on the apps like?
Oh, honey, I have every app you could think of.
Yeah.
I have Scruff, Grindr, Hinge.
Archer.
I had Archer. Because Archer and I partner up at one time. So I had Archer.
There you go.
Yes. So I have, and then I got this, what the fuck is it called? Sniffy, Snuffles?
Sniffies.
Whatever. And I'm going to be honest with you.
That choice. Yeah.
Let me tell you something about this motherfucking app, okay? About Sniffies. Or what is it?
Sniffies,
okay? When I heard that it was the Sniffy, I was like, oh, great. Let me check it out. The thing about Sniffies, I literally have it just for entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
You could not pay me to meet up with someone on Sniffies. There's no way. No.
Why is that?
It's too much. It's too risky.
Oh, okay.
You talk. I can't see people's faces. I just see dicks and ass and shit.
Right.
Like, no. If people don't want to send pictures, no, I'm good.
Okay.
Same thing with Grindr. Grindr,
But what's your experience actually meeting people through these things?
I mean, Sniffies is just there for shits and giggles.
Right.
Like, I'll probably get on Sniffies right now to see what's in the areas.
Right.
See if you guys are on it. Okay?
We are.
Grindr is hit or miss.
Yeah.
Grindr feels very, and I'm 33, now trying to, I'm getting older. Don't y'all start. I'm up there, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Y'all always trying to put me back down. Like, I'm up there, okay? I'm older. So, when I get on Grindr, I always feel like I'm looking at like Gen Zs and Euphoria kids and things like that. So I'm like, I don't want this. I don't need this. And there's like an ad every second. Even when I click on a photo, it's like an ad. So I'm over it. Scruff is really the home base for me. Scruff feels like the place for me. If you're listening to this and you need a POC, you need to hit me up. We can collab. But Scruff to me feels like a place where like I could find the guys that I like.
Yeah.
Hinge is a fucking joke. Hinge wants to match me. Oh, God. Hinge wants to always tell me this person's compatible for you. And it's like, no. Nothing in their bio, nothing about them.
Because, we both met our husbands. He met his husband on manhunt.net, and I met my husband on Grindr.
Damn. See, but guess what? That was when those apps were probably prime at the time. Now it's like...
I mean, manhunt.net was and is still like desktop.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, I don't know. Maybe I need to go home and use Manhunt on my computer. And then Tinder is... There's no hope.
But have you...
I would like to do more online dating because of the fact...
Yeah.
I don't go out as much.
Right.
So it's like when I do go out, it's once in a blue moon. Like I did DC World Pride. That wore me the fuck out.
Yeah.
I don't know how those kids are doing those damn what was it, the music festival and shit, wore me out. I did one night. I didn't even make it the second night. That's how much it was too much for me. And then P-Town, Bear Week. Next time I go out, maybe my birthday, that's in November. I don't go out as much until I decide to get my degree when I get it in March, and then I want to move. I don't know where yet. I gotta figure that out.
Well, you'll have all that extra money because you're gonna milk it from the haters.
Yes.
Once you got that cybersecurity degree.
Yes.
So typically we have a question that we ask all of our guests. We may have already covered it.
Okay.
So we're gonna but Judson, do you want to ask our question?
I would love to.
Yes.
What is your daddy issue?
Oh, so my daddy issue is just... I feel like I have two, but one is definitely just, representing more. I feel like we just need to represent more of the POCs in the bear community.
Yeah.
I think that, I understand there might be a small, like, there's probably not a lot of us.
Oh, I think there are a lot of people.
Okay. I believe it, but I just, sometimes when we go to these events and parties and things like that, there's not really a lot of us. I just wish there was more, because there is a lot of POCs that are involved in the bear community that we just need to incorporate more. So that will really be like one of my daddy issues.
Yeah.
And I think another issue that we have problems with is, or I would say I have a problem with, is just people just being more open about what they like and what they're into. Like, I feel like people can't say what their type is or things like that without getting canceled or being like, oh, you're this because you like that. Like, I think those are just ridiculous at this point. I think like it's okay to love everybody and like everybody, but everyone has things that they like or turn on. Like you guys have your husbands and there's things that they do or things that you like that made you want them and things like that. And that should be okay. Where in our community, sometimes people are like, I can't say that. I know people that are like, I like Latino men only.
Right.
And then people are like, oh, you're a racist. And it's like, it's okay to say if you like it. Like, there's plenty of people that are like, I know black men that are like black men only.
Right.
That's okay. There's black men that are like white men only. That's okay. Like, I think people can say those things and be okay. But I feel like when you say those, people just automatically jump on them or try to cancel them. And I think that's ridiculous now, especially in 2025. It's like crazy to me at this point. Those are my two things.
I love it.
As someone who is married to absolutely his type, I appreciate hearing that. Like when I look at my husband and I'm like, duh. And then I look at men who look like my husband and I'm like, duh.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
you're right.
And that's and I think that's okay. And I just find it, I don't know, I find it weird at times. Like I have got like dragged on Twitter multiple times where guys would be like, oh, I think Big D's so cute, but he doesn't like black men. And I'm like, whoa, like give me a second. Like I said I have a type, but I'm still open to others. But it's okay if I'm like, this is my type, but people just like come at you and then they want to call you a racist and all this other stuff. And it's like, that's not the case. Like everyone has that type. Like, fucking straight people out there like, I like girls with big ass titties.
Right? Yeah.
Okay, that's his type. Do you see him dating a flat chest girl? No. So he likes big ass titties. So then what? Oh, the little titty committee is going to be like, oh, he's against the little titty committee. I can't believe it. Let's cancel him. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all?
One big piece of advice I do want to give you: stay out of the comments.
I know. I'm that one big brother. I want to fight everybody. I just fought somebody on TikTok the other day.
You can't. I mean,
I know.
If people are putting their energy there, you have to know that they have a deep well of other unhappiness that they are coming out of, that they have to throw it at somebody kind of anonymously. And at the very beginning when we started posting TikToks, our first or second one started getting hate pretty immediately. And it was one that featured Judson, and I had been the one to post it, and I felt so guilty that I had put you out there like that. And you were the one who was like, no, the haters do us great because the algorithms don't know. And they just, the views go up.
I will tell you this. It depends on the comment. I really am going to, especially because, when this airs, Big Brother is airing. So, Big Brother, while it's going on, there's always so much shit that goes with it.
Yeah.
I'm really going to try to take my time to not get involved. I feel like I got better over the years. But when I came out the Big Brother house, I had to fight. I was like the color purple. All my life I had to fight. I had to fight to get out. Like I've been fighting since 2021 to kind of like cancel all this because we didn't have a villain of our season.
Right.
Because Frenchie went out so quickly. So it was like I was the only villain considered of the season. And I think that's just people needed somebody to hate.
Right.
They didn't have nobody. They didn't have nobody to really hate. So it's like I gained that weight. But I will say I am getting better.
Yeah.
I'm trying my best, but I will comment depending on what it is. Like when people talk about my dad,
sure,
it's hard. I do have to comment, or people talking about my weight and things like that. I do comment. Calling me delusional, calling me a flop. I didn't do nothing and all this other shit. I kind of just let it roll up my back.
Yeah. I would advise you to let it all roll off your back if you can. I responded to a comment for the first time this week.
What was it? Tell me.
Because somebody...
Positively or negatively?
Well, we had posted a TikTok from our Pride episode.
Okay.
And it was you, Judson, talking about how proud you are of so many things in your life. And, the thing about TikTok is that people who see those don't necessarily listen to the podcast.
Correct.
And so they don't have the full context. And this one person said, like, oh, this person has just had a good run of luck and has never had any trauma. And I said, that's an interesting point. Our listeners of our podcast know that Judson is in recovery from addiction to crystal meth and alcohol. Just to give you some context.
Thank you for that.
Congratulations.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
How many years?
I've been in recovery for 11, so a lot of practice, but let's be clear, I am 2 years back, clean and sober, 2 days ago.
Okay.
So I had a little slip 2 prides ago.
Oh, okay.
And I'm back in the saddle.
Okay, so you're back.
But I've had a lot of practice over the years.
Okay, I don't want this to sound offensive. do you drink or no? Is that you can't?
No,
do
I don't
that?
drink. I don't
Wow.
drink. I
Okay,
don't
good.
do weed. I
Okay.
don't do any party drugs. I
Okay,
definitely
good.
don't do meth.
Great. So you don't deal with any of the circuit parties. So great. So we will
No.
be together.
I'm
for
a
pizza.
daytime hoe.
Oh.
Like, also, just to bring it back to Bear Week really quickly, I am going to be there, but I am working. I have a vacation week the week before, and then I have to be kind of tethered to the office Bear Week.
Damn.
It's just how the chips fall, whatever.
Yeah.
So I was just looking at daytime events that I can like pop in and pop out of. So those are the things that are perfect for me because it's like, it's noon to 4.
Yep.
Nobody's too fucked up.
Yep.
I can go in and out like
Okay.
12 to 2. Juddy had a long lunch and then like get back on my emails or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
But I'm not trying to show up at a circuit party that starts at 11 p.m. No.
First of all, I don't understand a circuit party that starts at 11 p.m. and the clubs close at 1. I can't.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, no, I will be out the door by 9:30, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, the latest.
Brian, thank you for sticking up for me.
It was one
Yeah.
moment where I was like, people need some context. Then there was some that I thought this was another comment that was funny because I had another Pride video. I was talking about how proud I am of the life that I've built. And I made a comment that some people in our community would deride it for being heteronormative.
Yeah.
And somebody was coming to agreeing with me and saying like, oh, fuck those people who call your life heteronormative.
Oh.
They can have their open relationships and they can fuck around and I was like, yeah, well, that's me too, but I'm not going to like comment there. But like the person she was describing that was like, the horrible kind of person who would call me heteronormative is also the person that I am, which is kind of the point of this podcast, that you can live this life that I'm living and still have like a full sexual life, that is like,
Of course.
not quote unquote the norm.
And everyone's different, and
Yeah.
that's why I think everyone's different on that. My thing is that once I find mine, like my person,
Yeah.
it's like we gotta be married for a couple years before we think
Sure.
about bringing a third.
Well, that's
into
very funny
that.
because that is going to parlay right into our Go Ask Your Dad question in a second.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I was 39 when I met the person who is now my husband. How old was Bruce when he met you?
47.
So
you tell me I have a while.
No, I'm not saying of a while. I'm saying there's always hope.
You guys basically said, bitch, you got a long motherfucking time, bitch.
I'm saying when you're telling me that you're old, I want you to know that like
It's never too late.
it's
I
never
think
too
was
late. Like
the-
my life that I have now started when I was 39.
Yeah. I guess because I get that. I think I just need to. I think that's why I'm working on myself. I've been working on myself for the last 4 years, but this last year was a big wake up call for me.
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful for what happened. Of course, I hate losing people that I
Of
care
course.
about and things like that, but it kind of worked out. And I kind of have took the time this past year to find myself, who Derek is, and then also take that time to figure out, like, let people know who I am, like, because I'm not the same person I was before, and because people are always constantly dragging my name through the mud, through the mud, and when you lose friends, they also drag your name too. So you're like, oh my god, like I feel like I'm constantly in a boxing match. Like I don't know, my dad did it for all those fucking years. I feel like I'm constantly fighting constantly, and I will say, I think because I did things to set myself up for future wise, so I can be ready by going for my master's, by focusing on my weight loss, by focusing on staying and doing more things that are positive and taking those little wins when I can. So it's like, yeah, if you do see me, out and about on Bear Week, partying up and living it up and acting probably not crazy, but it's just because I need to let loose a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do understand what you're saying as of, time.
Yes, and I also will say that I went through an era before I knew my husband where I was telling everybody how old I felt. And then I eventually realized, like, at some point 20 years down the line, I'm going to look back and be like, that idiot thought he was old.
What a douchebag.
Yeah.
Keyword, they're going to play this in 20 years.
Yeah. All right. We can go on forever.
Yes, of course.
But let's take a quick break and we will come back with our Go Ask Your Dad question because there's a lot to unpack in it. And I want to take some time with that. So we'll take a quick break.
Hey, listeners, welcome back to Dads and Daddies. We have arrived at Go Ask Your Dad, our advice segment. As a disclaimer, we are not mental health professionals, nor are we financial planners. We just address listener-submitted experiences with our experiences as out and proud gay men.
To send us a Go Ask Your Dad question, please email us at dadsanddaddies@gmail.com. Voice memos turn us on the most, but we will take them any way you want to send them. You can write them out and email us. You can DM us on Instagram at dadsanddaddiespod. And this one today did indeed come through as a DM on Instagram. Here we go. I'm a 26-year-old brown gay man in New York. I've only been in one relationship so far, which was open from the start. My ex was white, and part of the difficulty was my own insecurities with how much easier it was for him to find sex as a white man. We even tried closing the relationship to try out monogamy, but it was clear we both felt unsatisfied. Moving into new relationships, how do I balance feeling secure in my relationship with wanting a variety of sex? Should there be a period of monogamy before being open, or are there boundaries that would be helpful to set in the early stages of a new relationship that allow for being open while working on a foundation?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me first say this. Whoever wrote this question, I see you, brown person. The first thing I want to say, I know we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier. I think being open in a relationship instantly when you just got into a relationship is 100% pointless. Like you got to build a foundation. Like I feel like you got to build that foundation where you're like, you get to the point where you're tired of each other, but you love each other. Like I think you got to build that foundation. I do want to touch on the part of his one thing that I think a lot of people that date predominantly white men, any type of POC, Asian, Latino, anybody, right? That predominantly date white men. The issue is there's a lot of insecurities that he's dealing with. And I think when you do settle with someone that is in the white community, you have to think about the white community. When they're gay, their families are a little bit different than the POC families. And, you know, when you're white and gay, you can, just based on a lot of it, you tell your parents you're gay. A lot of families, not everybody, a lot of families like, oh, I knew, yay, good for you, Johnny, I'm so happy. Yes, you know, where if you are a POC, it's like, like you cannot be gay. Like it's like the worst thing you could tell your family. So I think that where I'm trying to get to in this type of, you know, scenario and this type of thing, white men are always going to be more accepting and more of the sex appeal and more of, you know, what the desires are. It's just how it is. But when you date somebody, I think that you need to make sure the person that you're dating understands what your insecurities are and also understand who you are as a POC person. Making sure that you understand like what we struggle with and how we are and understand our culture. I would never, and this is just me personally, I would never date someone who does not understand my blackness. And if I have to teach him that, I will teach him that. And he has to be open to that. So it might be one of those things where you have to educate him to help him understand. So then he understands when you feel insecure or like you said, those things are happening and you're trying to figure out, why am I not getting the same thing? You got to break that down to him. And then maybe he'll understand more. But if he doesn't understand that, I would not be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't understand that. And it's okay. Like, I don't expect you to start, like, the reason why I'm dating you is because you're the opposite of me sometimes. So, like, I don't expect you to start now dressing like me, being like me, trying to talk like me. Like, I expect you to be you, but also understanding the responsibilities, what it is to date a POC person. And that goes for every interracial relationship or anybody that's in those type of relationship. It's your job to understand who you're dating, even if it's a Latino and a black person, same thing. Like you or Asian and a Indian person or white and a black person, like you have its responsibility. So my advice to him is just, first of all, I think straight out the gate, an open relationship when you first start is not good. You really need to build that foundation. Second of all, having that conversation, making sure that you understand, like he understands your background, who you are, and maybe taking him on a journey. Not saying it's your job, but like just like talking to him about things or things that are happening in the world that he might be like, I don't understand that. Explain that to me. Okay, break that down to him so he understands that. And then you could tie it into, or hey, Billy, I do want to let you know, I don't know why I call him Billy, man, because I think he's white and his name is Billy. Every white person is Billy. But hey, Billy, you know, this this made me feel insecure because of the fact that like you do get a lot of attention. And we're in this open relationship and I feel a little bit left out. And then it makes me feel even more secure because I'm trying to keep up with you, but I really can't because the men don't see me the way that they do. But I think that anyone who's a POC has to understand that the gay community, white gay men are predominantly always like been like the center of everything. So we have to understand that. And it took us a while to get to that point because of the fact that, like I said, to kind of tie back to where I'm saying, wow, I'm making a thought, Derek. Good job. To kind of go back to, where the fuck was this when I needed a big brother? To go back to what I was saying before, white people having those more accepting families where the POCs were not accepted and we had to hide and then be a lot of DLs tying into that. So that's where I'm trying to get at, that you just have to understand what you're getting into, but the partner has to understand. And no, I am not a fucking professional, but I am a real ass bitch. And that's what I will say. To that. Did I answer that question?
It's real ass advice.
That was amazing.
I absolutely agree with the foundation. However you decide to engage with this new person, I will say this. Brian and I have discussed this before. When a relationship opens, whether it is at the beginning or 6 months later or 5 years later, there tend to be more rules and boundaries than when there are later on. I think in this specific case, if you and this person do decide that you want to open the relationship in some way, one of the great boundaries might be that at least at first, you're a package deal.
Yeah, and I have friends like that. Yeah, I do agree. I have friends that I know they're like, we only play together, we only do together, or at least if the person is going to do something with somebody else, I'm in that house at the same time they're doing something. And I understand that, like, everyone's different, but I agree. I think it's the foundation. And once again, I understand. I haven't been in a relationship for a long time. Good for you for having a relationship at 26. But I would say you have to really sit there and understand, okay, I am dating a white man and I'm also in an open relationship. And if he was already somebody that you probably know that gets a lot of attention, and you probably maybe don't, probably said the fucking word wrong, who cares? But you probably feel like, oh, I don't get a lot of attention. You gotta kind of understand, like, okay, I got this man. I think they probably should have not been open. That's just my advice.
Right.
Because I got this man, I gotta keep him. And if I leave him open, you just put him right back out there with everything else you were competing with. Where if they had that foundation, you wouldn't give a fuck because you would know his ass is coming back home, but also you would probably feel a little bit more confident in maybe getting 1 or 2 where he might be getting 5. You know, like, you got to think about, there's a lot. This is a loaded question.
It's there's a lot to unpack.
I appreciate your question. Love it. I love this question, but this is a loaded
No, there's a lot
question.
to unpack here. Yeah. No, I also agree. Now, Toby and I opened our relationship, I want to say maybe 18 months into the relationship, and only because at that point, yes, the foundation was super strong, and we use the term sometimes like we feel we moved into a post-jealousy relationship, very quickly because the trust was so apparent, and so real, and we realized early on that sex outside of the relationship has nothing to do with each other. It fulfills a bucket that we can't fulfill for one another. And so, but you do need a foundation for that. You have said that you and your husband went to a sex party within a few weeks of meeting each other, but that you were so sprung for your husband from the very beginning that it didn't even occur to you to want to hook up with other people at the beginning. So, I definitely agree that like doing it from the start is tricky. And this last part of the question.
Yeah, like your second date, maybe not a threesome.
Yeah. And if and
can you imagine?
And maybe,
hey, we're going to Red Lobster. I'm bringing a friend, and they all say coming home with us, and we're gonna fuck. Like what? Okay.
Also, what's your job?
Right. Seriously, but I think the main part that I want to highlight, if I was a teacher and I had a paper, I want to highlight that he is saying, because I hear what he's saying, I see him, I see you and what you're saying. He's a brown man who's dating a white man. And for him, the insecurities that are in his relationship is that they open and the white man's getting more attention. So how do I get more attention?
Right.
Fuck everything else that's being said around this fucking question. That is the most highlight part that he really needs to answer to. And the only thing I could really tell him is that he has to sit there and find himself and find what those insecurities are in himself so he does not think that way. Because it's hard. It is hard, but there is a superpower that you can unlock. And I'm going to say this. It's called being a bad bitch. It's called getting yourself to like feel this ultimate superpower where you're a bad bitch. I've been insecure for a very long time. It took me getting myself together mentally and physically and looking like how I need to feel, like how I talk to unlock my superpower. And everyone won't get there at once, but at one point, the light bulb is going to go.
There's also actually a term that we talked about on our very first episode that I had just learned at that point called compersion. And compersion is to take pleasure in the pleasure of your partner being with somebody else. And, part of the foundation I think we're talking about is to be able to move past the fact that no matter what my partner is doing, I'm happy for them and not let it impact my own jealousy, my own insecurity. Now, I've talked very openly about the fact that when I know my husband is off hooking up, the first thing I want is a hookup of my own. And that is like partly jealousy, partly need for some validation because he's getting the validation and I want some too. And partly just because like it's sexy to me to know that he's off with somebody else. So I want to be off with somebody else.
But can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And you probably already talked about this. What happens if you don't hook up with somebody else and he does? Do you get jealous?
I mean...
Do you act weird when he comes home?
No.
Okay.
But we're well beyond that. I definitely want to hear about them because like the details of his hookups like turn me on.
Okay, good. Okay.
But knowing that he has hooked up, for me, once I've had a hookup outside of the relationship, I'm probably good for a few weeks. But once
he said a few weeks, I'm good for a few months.
But once I've heard that he has had a hookup, that will like restart the like. Okay, then I'm like, okay, I'm back on the apps, and it gets me going again.
Okay.
Listener, thank you so much for the question. It's a
really
huge question, and I hope we did it justice.
Yes.
Because there's a lot to say there. But thank you so much for sending in your question. Listeners, please do send in your questions to dadsanddaddies@gmail.com. Again, we love a voice memo, and I know that our listeners love to hear your voices. To that end, also please send us your Hookup of the Week voice recordings. We're loving sharing those. And before you sign off or log out or close out, I should say, I'm sounding Gen X as I am, of the platform on which you're listening to us, please do leave us a rating, leave us a review. They do so much for us. Derek, thank you so much for being with us.
Much.
How can our listeners find you?
Before I leave,
yes.
I just want to get this message out there.
Yes.
Jason Kelsey, if you are out there, I just want to meet you. That's it. I went to school with your beautiful wife. I just want to meet you, hang out, take a picture, and just live for the best of my life, just meeting you and shaking your hand. That's it.
If somehow a message from Dads and Daddies gets to Jason Kelsey, then
we'll know we've arrived.
Yeah, we will know we've arrived.
All I want. Did you see the video of Jason Kelsey?
Which you'll have to show me afterwards.
You guys didn't see the video of Jason Kelsey? Listen, I'm not a big Speedo person because I think Speedos look like panties, so they don't do nothing for me. Like any guy that like I let you do your thing. Like my friends wear Speedos. I'm like this. Nah, I'm more of like give me a good like 5-inch, short. Love it. But Jason Kelsey went to this autism, they have a charity that the Eagles have. And he walked in and he had like his little crop top on. He has lost a lot of weight. I'm a little nervous. I'm like, what's going on? Why you listen? Why you supposed to be our bear daddy? And he walks in and he's got this fucking, what's the chair that the fucking lifeguard sit on? He got this big ass lifeguard chair, stands up, rips his pants off, and he's in a fucking Speedo. And I'd
love to see this.
I passed out. I said, he is driving the bear community insane. I don't think that he understands that he is a bear icon.
No, I think he knows. I think Jason Kelsey knows.
And Kylie, if you're out there listening, which Kylie, watch me on Big Brother, we talk, we're following each other on TikTok. Why have I not met your husband? Are you trying to hide him from me? I just want to meet him. I know he's a father. I know he's your man. I just want to meet him and get a picture. That's all I can ask, girl.
How can our listeners find you?
Oh, yes. Everyone can find me at the Derek Frazier on Instagram. Same thing on TikTok. I have an underscore at the end. If you guys love reality TV shows, please check me out on, the Royalty on the Heavy Crown Network. We're getting ready to right now, because it's airing right now. We're recapping Big Brother 27 weekly as much as possible. We do have a Big Brother watch party that we're having in New York City. So anybody in New York City want to come, you're more than welcome to.
When and where is that?
It's at it's on Oz's page.
Okay, we'll find it.
It's on Oz's page. Other than
we'll
that,
post it for our listeners.
Yeah, come find me anywhere. And, I'm on all the dating apps. So, I mean, if you talk to me about Big Brother, I probably won't answer you on the dating apps. But Twitter and Instagram and all those places are safe places to talk to me about Big Brother.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being
coming
here.
here.
It was such a pleasure.
A blast.
Thank you.
And hopefully you'll come back again.
Oh, of course. I feel like we have so much more that we did not
I know.
unpack, but until next time.
Yes. All right. Thank you, listeners. We will see you in a week.
See you in a week.